YouTube recently suggested I watch a video by a guy named Jordan, and the video was about how much better his life had gotten by making the change of going to bed early and getting up at 5 AM every day. I really liked the video and it was really getting me interested in the subject, but when the video finished and the inspirational music kind of seeped back out of my ears, I realized that a huge lifestyle change like going to bed at 10 and waking up at 5 every day can only really be implemented if you have a pretty specific lifestyle to begin with. One of the things Jordan talks about in the video is the fact that he was inspired by this Navy SEAL, and the Navy SEAL in his video said this.
Well, what does this bring to you?
Waking up early, you just get a jump on the day. Because what are you doing at night most of the time? Most of the time at night, you're not working on anything super productive and watching stupid YouTube videos. Don't do that. Instead, go to sleep and then wake up early.
Jordan also talks about the fact that after 10 he was basically just sitting around on his phone doing nothing interesting anyway. Now, I'm not the coolest kid in the world, but even I've been to concerts and birthday parties and movie showings and even board game nights that lasted well after 10 PM. Anyone who's driven remotely close to a city and looked out the window can tell you there's stuff going on after 10. Not to mention other more boring reasons why you might not be able to sleep from 10 to 5. Maybe you work during those hours. Maybe you got a couple of kids that prevent you from sleeping well during that time. Speaking more personally, I can think of days where I got up at like 7, went to work for 10 or 11 hours, got home, put the kids to sleep, you know, did some housework because the landlord was coming for an inspection the next day, and by the time all that's done, it's like 9:30. Now, if I was going to bed at 10 o'clock every night, that leaves me only half an hour to actually spend time with my girlfriend who I live with. I'd probably prefer to stay up later than 10. See, implementing these kind of rules on yourself are great, especially if they're for self-improvement. What's important though is to be able to step back and realize when they become detrimental. As much as it seems like I hate the idea, I too actually prefer to get to sleep early and wake up at around 6 AM every day, except for the days when I don't want to. Recently, a friend who I hadn't seen in a long time came to my city for work. By the time he was finished whatever he was doing and was able to hang out with me, it was again about 9:30. Instead of saying, no, I gotta go to sleep at 10, let's see each other again in a couple of years, I just hung out with him until whenever I felt like it and then slept in the next day. Sometimes I go on these huge hikes, walking for hours and hours at a time, using way more energy than I would in my regular day. My body needs more sleep. 6 o'clock comes around and my body's not ready to get up. I could get up, I could be strict. One of the things talked about in the original video is how getting up earlier makes the day longer. You have more time to do stuff. What about the days where you don't have stuff to do? Sure, the day would be longer if I got up, but it would also be worse. I'd have no energy. I'd be more likely to get grumpy and snap at people I interact with.
The day just seemed so crazy short, and I just felt like I couldn't really get anything done throughout the day. And it was because I was probably spending like 4 hours a day on my phone, and it's not like just a block of time and then I'm not thinking about my phone after that. It was like throughout the day, it's distracting me from things that I'm trying to get done.
That's another thing he talks about a lot, procrastination. As well as changing his sleep habits, he also changes his phone habits. Phone becomes a scapegoat for all the procrastination he's been doing. And yeah, phones do make it easier to procrastinate, but procrastination's been around for hundreds of years. I feel like the general sentiment behind the video is one that I can get behind. Stop procrastinating with stupid little tasks that kind of mean nothing and put your energy to stuff that perhaps is more meaningful. But that kind of lifestyle change isn't something that can be boiled into changing when you go to sleep and get up. Sure, that kind of thing looks alluring in a 3-minute YouTube video. The reality of it for most people is it would just be difficult. Phones aren't really the problem. Look, I've procrastinated in my life as well, but I've never procrastinated about subjects or projects that I feel passionate about. If I really want to do something, nothing can stop me. It's all I can think about and I'll get to it however I can. Perhaps if you find yourself procrastinating and putting off things that you think you're meant to do, changing when you go to sleep or when you look at your phone isn't really the lifestyle change that's needed. Maybe instead of changing when you go to sleep, change what you're doing when you're awake.